Right.
Imagine sitting up there testifying against your brother, knowing your brother has something to do with this. But I want my brother locked away.
And this
So
is a
I'm gonna
year
do
later.
everything a year later. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to to say and tell these people what's going on. Even immediately calling after something happened. I done seen a podcast. I done did this. I done did this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if she know that her brother went to jail for being a sex offender. I think he hid that from his family, if I'm not mistaken. This is it. This is sad. Now, anybody in the comments, just imagine sitting in this seat right now as a sister to a pedo that's a known pedophile.
As one of the people who last saw this girl alive.
And I can only she's like I could have saved her. I just imagine how she laying down at night, like and sleeping.
She has more of an emotional response a year later than the Aunt Shannon and the grandmother who had full custody, Annette, showed weeks after they started doing searches and went on the news.
Yeah, now Cookie Monster, they had a relationship because they gonna ask her that, and they was like, "That's my brother." Like when they cross examine, she gonna say like, "It's my brother." Like, what you mean? Are we close?
Yeah, they
And
did ask about the relationship.
so you can
Absolutely.
kind of tell like, "Shit, that's my brother." My brother don't charge me to fix my car, so you can tell like they was close. You know what I'm saying?
And she said she would had met and had in contact with at least 8 of his
8 of
children.
his kids, yes, 8 of his children.
Yeah.
She had contact with him.
Oh yeah.
And she was close enough to him to know who his baby mamas was. You know what I'm saying? The ones that he did like be around. Thank you, Wolf. You in the other chat, baby. I don't see your wrench. And I ain't passed out no wrenches over there unless you was in, the winning at one of my lives. Y'all, please like and share the video. Mother keep dropping down. Support it any way that you feel free to. Super chat, super sticker, cash app, membership. However you feel like that you want support, but most importantly, just please hit the like button and share the live so we can get it in the algorithm and we can get this out. Put pressure on them. Make them at least tell DPD where the body is. Without that body, like they have a case with what they got, but with their body, we can have so much more. We can get so much more. Because it would be 2 counts, I believe, and it's all alleged of murder. It would be 2 counts if that baby was pregnant
Yeah,
at the
that's
time.
only if Michigan has stipulations for they call it feticide.
Hmm.
That's only if. I don't know Michigan's laws like that because they do have open.
But so will it be a fetus if she was 5 months? That's a live baby, though.
It's still a fetus, absolutely. Until the baby comes out, it's still considered a
Yeah,
fetus.
fetus. Okay, well, I seen somebody in the chat saying that they could get charged because they was after or something, but I don't know. We'll probably have to look all that up, mother.
Yeah.
He will not get out this time. Well, the thing of it is, they asked him for 25 years, just 25.
Wow.
25? He should get more than that.
That's
The
nothing. That's
that's
nothing.
nothing. Like the 4-year-old. Well, y'all, what about the four
He'll
year old? He came
he'll
to
get out in
media.
his 60s and do it to some more children.
He don't need to get out at all. I was saying the death penalty. Salute everybody that's
Exactly.
coming in. Salute, 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 salute. I feel sorry for this sister right here, though.
And did you give Sergeant Jones permission to look at your location data?
Yes.
Okay. And your phone kind of extraction in general, like to go through your phone for the data.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing else, Judge.
Thanks, Chris. Good afternoon. So you go to the shop where your brother works periodically, right?
From time to time, yes.
You've been there prior to the day we've been talking about today,
Yes.
a couple times at least,
Yes.
and you've been back there after.
Yes.
But the day we've been talking about, that's the only time you ever saw a child there.
That was the only time I saw a child I didn't recognize.
Okay, so you had seen other children there before?
Yes.
Okay, when you say that you recognize.
The sister looking at the defense attorney like, why you even asking me anything?
And when you first arrived at the shop that day, Jarvis told you that he wasn't going to be able to work on your car?
No.
No? Did you ask him if he'd be able to?
Judge, I think this calls for hearsay. They can't accept statements of the defendant.
I'm looking more so for her own statement, actually.
For her
We'll
what?
start with her own statement.
Okay.
Did you ask him right away if he would be able to work on your car
I talked to him prior to coming to the shop.
before you arrived? You asked if he could work on your car that day?
I asked him to look at my car that day.
Okay. Did you arrive at the shop with the understanding that he would or would not be able to?
I arrived at the shop knowing that he was going to look at my car.
Okay. One moment. And was that via text or call or some other way?
Probably a video call.
Okay, so
Like, let me give a hand clap to the sister, cause you a woman. Why you even asking me? Like, and then it's like she trying to trick her on her questions. Do you want? I asked him to look at my car.
Right.
Something's wrong with. Like, man, like who? What? Like, even though he do have a defense attorney as a man, but a woman on the defense attorney as well, it just gives me some type of eerie feeling. Like what? And then you trying to, she letting her know. Like you can tell with the sister, like I'm irritated. Like you even asked him this. He did this shit. He did this shit. And you can tell like the sister, like, what?
They got DNA, they got cell phone data. None of that shit is lying. But you questioning the sister and not this sick ass nigga hiding behind his defense attorney and a goddamn mask.
Yeah, like I'm his sister. I don't have no motive to want my brother in jail. Like, I'm up here testifying against him. Come on now. Come on now. Thanks. Shout out to my sister for the super chat. Y'all please hit the like button, share the live. Support super chat, Cash App. Thank you for being here. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, Sissy. I love you. Y'all, it is greatly appreciated. And I thank y'all for being here. I'm trying a new leaf. So at least in the sector have us doing real content. We got my hair over there doing real content. I'm trying to get into the mode of doing real content. And I'm super excited about it. I'm glad to have Mother up here, my sis, any of y'all in the chat. If y'all feel like y'all want to hit the link and have dialogue with us, you can. We've been here, going on 8 hours, and I'm getting sleepy now. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, y'all are out of here. I will give y'all 8 hours.
Okay, Carrie, you are appreciated for covering this story. The
Yes.
Naziah
So,
needs to know
I think
that
this one right here is going to be the last testimony. We're going to leave out with the judge statements, but that don't mean we're going to be finished. We're not going to be finished. I'm going to let y'all hear what the cousin has to say. I'm going to let y'all hear what the mom has to say. I'm going to let y'all get the interview of the dad. So we got to keep talking about it, y'all. We cannot let this go unnoticed. We have to keep talking about it. Even if we just have live streams with her face on the thumbnail and just talking about the issues, our concerns, how we feel. If we want to go back and dissect some of the interviews, keep them in their lives, just keep talking about it. So if we keep talking about it, we'll put pressure on him, pressure on the family.
whole
At least at least for us to get
system.
this baby body. We need to know where did y'all
What did y'all
did
do to
y'all
this
do to
baby?
this baby? We
Yeah.
need to know.
And
We need
and
to know.
and Naziah is, I'm sure Naziah is thankful on the other side, knowing that it's people that are advocating for her and trying to get down to the bottom. I know that baby is screaming out for help from the other side. If anybody subscribes or believes in stuff like that. So this is definitely appreciated and much needed because they thought they would get away with this. They thought that nobody would care about a little black girl from Detroit whose parents abandoned her from birth, signed over the rights, didn't care about her. They thought they could get away with this and hide this. And literally the whole world is looking at this fucking family right now.
Yes, you even have you got the celebrity scholar baby. He was like,
Yes.
I usually give money to the family, but I feel like they failed her, so I'm not giving them a dime. What I will do is put a fundraiser together. Not a fundraiser. What was it?
He
He
wanted
said
to put together an event to bring awareness to her being
event to
missing.
bring awareness, and he also wanted to what do you call it? It's right at the tip of my tongue, like a foundation for her, for
Yeah,
children
yeah,
that's
honoring
going through
her
it.
and other girls that have endured abuse. Absolutely.
Yes. So shout out to him and whoever else trying to do it. I did see Tyler Perry say something about it. I gotta go get the message that he wrote on his not TikTok, but what you call it? Twitter. He wrote it on Twitter, something about Denai. So Naziah. So we need to get all of this out. We need to push. We need to push. But I do believe the best thing for Jarvis to do is to let them know where this baby body is. That's the best thing that he can do at this point on.
Video call a little bit before you headed over.
You sleep.
Earlier in the day, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what time.
Okay, so that's how you decided that you'd go over later.
He told me I could come.
This is kind of all calling for hearsay in a backdoor way.
The response is hearsay. Not that
Yes.
you necessarily asked for it, but it's hearsay.
Sure, we can keep it as her own. So to be clear, we don't need to talk about what he said to you, but you did a video call to him. And in that call, you asked if he could work on your.
You
Right.
keep saying,
You asked him personally in a video call.
yes.
Okay. And that was maybe that morning.
I don't remember what time of day it was, but it was before I went to him.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And as you were saying, this day, I think you said you saw some other children there at other times, but this particular child, you only ever saw this child on this particular day.
Yes,
And the whole time you were there, from your testimony and from that police interview, you said that you never saw her face.
yes,
And then you did also see some news stories about this case.
yes,
Yeah, in the podcast that you talked about. Right, there were some podcasts.
I had already saw her on the news, but I did not know who she was.
Sure, but that was by seeing those stories, that's how you started to think.
Well, I was sent the podcast after some other things that was told to me. That's when I received the podcast.
So initially, between the day you were at the shop, right, and then until you started to see that news, at first you didn't make this connection that maybe she was anyone in particular.
Not at all.
And then through seeing that news, those podcasts, that's when you started to think she
No.
was.
That's not the reason why I thought that.
No, but that's the timing, or it's not?
I guess you could say that.
That's when you started to, at least when you saw those things, that's when you
Oh,
started to wonder.
pause it real quick, KK. Just for
I was wondering
clarification.
before I saw the podcast.
Oh, So she said she was wondering before the podcast, which what goes back to my statement, something in her spirit was telling her it wasn't something right about that little girl being there at that shop, and she wasn't buying that story that it was his business partner's niece. And the
That was
podcast that she's
exactly. That's why
talking,
he kept asking. Mm-hmm.
yeah, the
That's
podcast
exactly
that
what
she's
it was.
talking
She was
about.
like,
Go ahead, KK.
"No, you go ahead."
Oh, the podcast that she's talking about, KK has already shared that guy. His name is 7 Mile Radio, and almost a year ago, he was looking into this because he is from Detroit, and he had the whole family on his channel. And he talked about how they have over 40 years of CPS allegations and investigations within that single family alone. And the sister, that's what that's the podcast that she's talking about. It blew up in Detroit. Yeah.
And what's
Just
the
for
name? What was the name of the podcast?
7 Mile Radio. MILE. 7 Mile Radio. You can't miss it. His shit is going viral right now because everybody that's tapped into
Okay,
this.
we're gonna tap into it so we can get all. We want y'all to get all this taken in. We want y'all to understand, like, this was not just I met this guy with it, and I didn't know he was out there as a serial pedophile. Everybody in Detroit around the area knew that this man was a pedophile. So for them not to know, not even for them not to know, because they knew, because the aunt said, if the justice system gave him a chance, why shouldn't we? So they knew what was going on. And
Yeah.
what makes it really cringing, that the auntie seen text messages with him and texted
Right.
him to not come around or be bothered or don't call her anymore. So she knew what was going on. She knew.
Yeah, it wasn't a matter of them giving him a second chance or giving him the benefit of the doubt. To me, that's just code for I'm okay with it, and here's where we're going from here type shit. Like, ain't no motherfucking benefit of the doubt. Like, I'm sorry, not sorry. You got a record for doing stuff against children. You got aggravated anything, attempted anything. You can't be around me and mine. You a
I put
three-time
that in. I put that in. He popped straight up, and it's a 5 hours long. So I can't give it to y'all today. But after we hear the exit of the court hearing with the judge, we're going to get into the 7 Mile Radio. The guy, we're gonna have to do a reaction video. I think I gotta stop it every 2 minutes or every minute. I'll figure it out. But we're gonna get into that so y'all can get the history that this is not just, it wasn't just starting with Naziah.
Right. It's not an isolated event. It's not a surprise that nobody would have ever guessed. Because that's what a lot of people say when stuff like this. I would have never thought that he or she would do something like that. I had no idea. No, they fucking knew. Everybody.
They knew. With this sister, I believe she knew, like, about the first offense, and because you could tell, like, in the interview with the detectives, he was saying, like, he tried to stay away from kids to prevent, anything like this happening. So with his sister, she thinking, okay, he trying to stay away, and she not thinking like my brother really out here doing this again. She not thinking like that. But once she seen Naziah and she wasn't buying the story that this is his cousin and this is this, she got right on it right away. I applied to the sister. Y'all, please hit the like button.
Thank you to the
Please,
sister.
thank you to the sister. Please share the live. However you feel that you want to support, it's up to you guys. Super chat, super sticker, get a membership, hit the cash app. If not, just please share the live. Thank you. I appreciate you, mother, for being up here. I'm glad that you are more interested in the story than me. Like, we up here. We need like this. And this is not because they said it's some more. I got a lot of people sending me like similar cases. So we need justice for all these children. Justice for all these
Absolutely.
children.
Protect these children.
Like
That's what y'all doing.
we need to we need to protect our black children. You know what I'm saying? We need to make sure that they are safe, that they are comfortable to be able to come to their mothers, their fathers, whoever their guardian is. I try to have and like a lot of people say, I'm not my kid's friend. Sometimes you have to build a bond like a friendship, but they don't know.
Because a friend
I'm,
is just
I'm
somebody that has a decent relationship with somebody that they trust. So does my child has the same freedoms as me? Absolutely not. But am I their safe space? Am I a friend? If Jesus is your friend, but your child is not, bitch, you need to recheck your goddamn thinking. Okay?
okay. I'm sitting right here doing the live with y'all. My daughter come up here, Mom, I gotta tell you something. Okay, let me go on mute. Baby, she telling me something about her little friends at school. Like, these is my dogs, these is my partners. I need to know everything. So if something happened to mine, you best believe Rob still kill whatever it takes for mine. Do you
Okay.
understand?
Stop playing. Y'all need to stop playing with these children, the boys and the girls. It's way too many threats, spiritually, physically, mentally. It's way too much for you not to have your antennas up and be in your child's business, but also be there for them to have a safe space to go to if something is happening. Come on now.
Exactly. It was a lot of red flags with the grandmother, with the aunt. How she supposed to be at home at 3. When she didn't come home, they was like, "Oh, I just waited till the next day." There was a red flag. If my baby not at home, I'm calling the police. Look, I can't
Okay.
find.
No,
I've been
they not
calling
no
the
goddamn
phone.
runaway. Like,
Like,
no,
even if
she's
she
not out
did
there
run away,
getting
look,
fast.
what's going on? I need a missing person report. I ain't seen my child. She usually be back. What is going on here? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to have some type of curve. But the fact that one of the aunties told another cousin that she had get some dick, they knew that girl was having sex, and you couldn't tell me they didn't know it was with him.
They was
Come
jealous
on.
for sure.
They was jealous. They was jealous because they were big, black, and ugly, and she was pretty, petite, and beautiful.
And young. Why he got all this interest in this little nappy headed skinny girl, and he got all this grown woman over here. I can only imagine like the sick shit they was saying to justify this shit. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. Where till I find them text messages? We gonna pull it up. I think I can like screenshot it, send it to my Instagram inbox, and then upload it on her because I did upload Nazaya's Instagram up on her. So I think that's how I have to do those messages as well.
yeah, her Instagram tells a whole lot.
Yeah, but right now you can't get on the Instagram. All it just show is like some pictures. It don't show her videos no more.
Mm.
So I think they
Wow.
locked it.
I didn't know that. But her videos, the dances that she were doing were not appropriate for a girl her age. The songs she was singing were not age appropriate. Like her Instagram
At
is
all. She was
a
over there on the
hotbed
phone.
of evidence.
Mhm.
It really is. And
Mhm.
sad that
The
all that
the
shit
fact
is
that you Instagram messaging her as well, like on her Facebook, is like she had all access to him. She knew every outlet to get to him. That was weird, and you could tell who's friends with who on Instagram
yeah.
and
They
on
tell on you.
Facebook.
Mutual friends who like they tell Instagram and Facebook tell all that shit. And that's why a lot of people right now today are still deleting Jarvis Butts off of their social media because they don't want to be tied to him in any type of way. It's too late. The
Mhm.
screenshots are out. If this case can tell y'all anything, you deleting it does not get rid of it. Because he tried to delete so much so when he was in custody and they were interrogating him or questioning him about what happened to Naziah. You could check my phone. There's nothing in my phone that's going to tie me. Yeah, nothing that we can visibly see. But when we scrub that motherfucker, Oh, the shit that we are able to see.
Exactly, because you was deleting them, so you knew they was deleted, and you thought just by them going through that they weren't gonna do a database search. You out your motherfucking mind. Then you sitting up there looking up how to have an abortion at home. Can you drink red antifreeze? Like you are a
Herbal to
sick
get abortions.
herbals to get abortions. Like, come on, y'all. Please hit the like button. This is our last testimony. This is the last testimony. Oh, but we getting deep in it. We getting deep in it. Thank you guys for being here. I love my little cutscene. Let's go.
Okay. In your police interview that you did you tell them that at first when you saw the news you didn't really make a connection because of not having seen your face?
Yes.
So that interview was on February 26th, 2024, right?
Yes.
And you were having some trouble remembering some of the specific details from January 9th at that point?
Not so much as remembering maybe the order I remembered it in.
Okay. Were there some times, at least though, when you were asked some questions and some details that you had to say, I can't remember some things?
I can't remember now.
Okay. And would you agree that at least
Like,
when it
it didn't mean I
okay.
didn't.
I was just saying,
probably did. I guess it would be safe to say because I didn't know.
okay, so you think it's safe to say that at that point in time, there are at least some details you were having a hard time, some questions you couldn't answer.
I can't disagree.
And it was pretty close in time, shortly before that police interview. That was when you first started to think that maybe this girl you'd seen at the shop had been Messiah Harris.
Can you repeat that?
So the first time you started to think that maybe that child, the one you saw, maybe that was Messiah Harris, that was pretty close in time to the police interview.
Maybe about a week or so before.
Okay. I believe, does it sound right to you that I think you told the police that it was on the Thursday prior to the interview?
Whatever the Thursday was after Valentine's Day.
Okay. So probably February 22nd. That was the Thursday prior to your interview.
Okay.
And then when you were at the shop, you primarily saw this child while she was inside a truck, right?
I didn't know it was a child in the truck until she kept getting out.
Okay, but when you saw her, she was in a truck?
I saw her getting out the truck, yes.
And were you inside your vehicle?
Yes.
You arrived in the daylight, right?
Yes.
And that's, I think, what you're referring to, right? Initially, that's when you didn't yet know somebody was in the truck.
Can you say that again?
So at the beginning, when you first got there, right, you didn't know right away that somebody was in the truck.
No, I didn't.
I think you had said before, because it was so light outside, it was a bit difficult to see into the truck.
I wasn't really paying attention to his truck. He was outside of it.
Sure. And then in your police interview, you referred to then seeing a light in the truck, and that's when you started to see somebody?
Yeah, that's when the door opened.
Okay, so there's a light turned on, and at the same time, a door opened?
That's the reason the light was on.
Okay, because the truck door was open. Yes.
Sure.
And you said that you saw a couple different times her go back and forth to the gas station,
Yes.
and only one of those different times you were on your way to the gas station as well.
Yes.
But for that whole time, she remained in front of you?
When I was going into the gas station, she was in front of me. When I walked into the gas station, she went to the left, I went straight, and over to the right.
For that walk over to the gas station, was it getting dark at that point?
It was already dark.
Okay. And while she was in the truck, you were not sure exactly which part of the truck this was?
I can't remember, no.
Okay. So you understood initially that when you arrived, you'd probably have to wait at the shop sometime?
Yes,
I think you referred to the other car he worked on first. Is that all there was before you?
it was actually another vehicle out there, but I don't pay my brother to work on my car, so I had to wait until he was done making his money. So
Sure,
I waited.
sure. So do you know how many cars he worked on before he got to you?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you know if there were any other customers present in person?
I did see someone, I can't remember what kind of car it was in, but it was, I believe, a gentleman, that needed to pull into the garage because Jarvis asked me to move my car out the way because I was blocking the garage, so, yes.
Was this someone you recognized at all?
No,
So in total, other than Jarvis or who you referred to as King, was there anyone present that you recognized that day?
no, just King and my brother.
So as you said, the sun set while you were there. Do you know about how long it was light out before it got dark?
Well, I got there about 4 o'clock. It didn't take long for it to get dark. I don't remember the exact time, but it got dark pretty fast.
Okay. And then other than when you went to the gas station, were you always at the shop?
What do you mean?
So did you go anywhere else?
No, I never left. All I did was move my car when he asked me to move my car. And once the driveway was clear, I back where I was. I didn't go anywhere else.
Okay. And when you were present, not going to the gas station, were you always inside your vehicle?
Yes,
Were your doors open or closed?
closed.
Okay. And were your windows up or down?
They were up unless I asked him something,
Okay. So sometimes if you needed to communicate, you just open the window.
or I would call him, yeah. Yes,
And you were saying today that at one point you did speak to Jarvis about who this girl was.
yes,
And when you were talking to the police about this, you had said that you weren't sure exactly what his response was.
what I said was I wasn't sure of the wording.
Sure, that's what I mean. That
Okay,
you told the police, right, that it might have been King's niece, or maybe he said it's my homeboy's niece.
he said it was his partner or King's niece, but he definitely said it was someone else's niece.
Okay, I think, does it sound right to you that you used the term homeboy's niece with the police?
I probably did.
Okay.
It's all the same to me.
And then that's what you continued to think at first, right? At first, you just believed that it was someone else's niece.
Yeah.
Specifically, you thought it was probably King's niece,
That's what I was told.
which I think as we established, right, King is the same person as Cordell, right?
Yes,
And then after that, you would listen to some of these podcasts and to the news.
I listened to his kid's mother, and then I watched the podcast.
Okay, so those are some things that happened.
Yes,
And then once you started to have this different information you were gathering, then you kind of started to look into it for yourself,
yes,
do some of your own investigation.
yes,
And then at one point following that, that's when you decided to go back to the shop
yes,
to speak to Cordell
yes,
and to discuss some of these things you've been learning with him.
yes.
You and Jarvis are not particularly close.
I wouldn't say that we're really distant. I don't see him every day. I don't talk to him every day, but he's my brother.
He's your brother, but you don't have a very close relationship, or?
He's my brother.
What about with his children? Are you close with his children?
Some of the ones that I know.
So he has 13 kids, right?
I have no idea.
Do you have an idea of around how many kids he has?
A lot,
Okay. Do some of them live with different mothers?
yes.
And you don't spend time with all of them?
No,
So which ones do you know?
I don't want to say their names. They're minors.
Okay.
And I don't want to disclose their identity.
Could you just give like a number instead? How many do you know?
I'm counting. About 8.
So when you say 8 that you know, does that mean 8 that you have like personal contact with?
I have.
When is the last time that you've seen any of them?
About 2 months ago.
Were you and Jarvis raised by your grandmother?
For the most part.
And were there some events surrounding her death that related to your relationship with Jarvis that impacted some things?
No.
Oh, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Butts, you said that there was another reason, there was a different reason that you thought that it was Neziah that you had saw that day. When you were starting to compile, or when you talked to Shannon Harris, and then you got the podcast. Before that, you said there was other reasons why you had thought that was Neziah.
So, am I?
Yes.
Can I speak for-
What is
okay,
that? Yes.
So, at the time, I didn't know. Once I realized that it was a possibility that I saw her, there were several reasons that led me to believe that it was a possibility I was there. And I didn't want to get into detail as far as what I knew before the podcast. But if you would like, I would explain to you why I thought these things.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Can we approach? Yes. We'll be right back. Go in the hallway.
She not tired. She tired of the bullshit. Like, that was that baby. And y'all questioning me, but when I get to telling y'all the reasons, y'all saying, oh, it's hearsay. It's hearsay. It's hearsay. Sometimes you need to know what hearsay is. Now I need to talk to these people. And she breaking down. She got more emotion than the mama, the grandmother or the aunt had.
The only one that cried for this baby on the stand.
You need some water or something?
Then the brother won't even look at his damn sister.
Oh, yeah.
He
Look at
can't
this
even
nigga
look at
acting
her.
like he writing some shit down.
So what you writing on the paper? What you writing? Sorry.
A hot ass fucking mess.
Oh, I could spit on it. Spit on it.
Need to be writing down where that baby is.
Look at him, mother. Exactly. Just, oh, that's fucking sad. Exactly, Clevia. Exactly. And the fact that he don't have no emotion. He don't have a care in the world. That's the first time I done seen him look up. And they look just like twins, him and his sister.
Do we have to keep looking at him? Because it is just sickening. It's pissing me off even more. Just looking at his fucking face.
You do some more?
Like he ain't did shit.
They done zoomed all in on them. Like, well, they done zoomed in on them and everything.
Okay, we are back on the record. Ms. Butts, you are still under oath. Ms. Ripley, go right ahead.
Thank you. So, Ms. Books, what's the sources of these reasons that you have? Are these things that you know from your personal knowledge? Are these things that you observe yourself?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Repeat that.
So these reasons that you were thinking of, what are the sources of them? Is it somebody told you something? Is it something that you saw yourself, you observed, or a coupling of that?
I would say a bit of both. Things that I was told and things that I heard.
Okay. Were there heard from Jarvis?
No,
Okay. Were these things that you had already known prior
prior to.
to thinking that was Messiah that you saw?
I'm sorry, I'm confused on the question.
So are these things the sources that you have for these reasons? Are they like things that you have personal knowledge of, or are they things that somebody told you about?
These were things that I was told. I'm trying to understand the question that you're.
Ms. Ripley, you're referring to the question before we went into sidebar about her leading up to believing that it was possibly Naziah Harris at the shop, correct?
Yes.
Does that help clarify
Okay.
the line of questioning?
Yes.
Okay. So those reasons, those things, are those things that you had known before? Are they based on your observations, or?
Well, these were things that I was told. And after asking the questions that I needed to ask, I came up with the conclusion that it was a possibility that Naziah was the little girl that I saw that day.
Thank you. You said that when you were parked at Jarvis's shop, that it was getting dark out.
Yes,
Okay. That darkness, is that maybe the reason why the color on the jacket stood out?
Well, the jacket didn't stand out until I was walking into the gas station behind her because I wasn't really like paying attention to what she had on. I just kept seeing her get in and out of the truck, going in the gas station and coming back to the truck. And that's what caught my attention.
Okay, so the movement is what attracted you to it at first.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing for the judge. Nothing for her.
Okay, Mr. Bussey, you're done testifying.
Okay. Okay, y'all. So that's the end of the testimony from the sister. We will be here 2 hours. I'm gonna give you guys what the judge have to say at the end. We're gonna end it right there. And when we come back, probably tomorrow at 4 a.m., then we can get into everything else that was going on.
You about to play what the judge's remarks now?
The judge's remarks. Yeah, because that's the end of the testimony. Hold on. I gotta find it first.
Yeah, that was a lot. And I'm still stuck on his sister showing the only ounce of emotion towards Naziah. She had more care and concern for her, even questioning her brother, questioning her own sense of reality. She had more care for Naziah than her own grandmother and aunt who were in charge of caring for her. It's just sad. It's really sad. And I
That's
just
what got me. Like, are you
what you were saying, KK?
that's what I was saying. Like, hold on. I'm gonna have to the fact that they all knew. The fact that they all knew. And then to imagine living there and him, like he was frequent there every day. It was never a day that she did not talk to this man. And then when she didn't talk to him, she felt like he was mad at her or she did something wrong to him. You know what I'm saying? It's sick.
Right. So that's like key signs of somebody in an abusive situation. I mean, even we see that dynamic with two adults in an abusive situation. So to just think about how this child was impacted by that, on top of maybe thinking that she did something wrong just by being born because her parents abandoned her at birth.
Exactly.
Mm, mm, mm.
So what do I do? Like at this point, what do I do? Who do I turn to feel love? Who do I
Right, right. The only person that's telling me what they're giving me is love.
yeah, and is this really love? Is this
Well,
really love?
maybe she thinks it's love because it feels good at the moment. Not like we can cancel out the times where she felt like he was upset with her. She she probably felt more love from him than she felt in her whole life, which is sad because
I totally agree.
he was only using her for a physical thing. That's all she meant to him. When that text message, when she was like, I just want to cuddle, but we can still
It ain't
fuck.
always what I want. It's
Oh
word.
my gosh. And then he responded quick back, like, well, if you want to fuck, then you just say that. Why you lie? Say you want to cuddle. Like, she was looking for
It
affection
was
from
weird, like, what is
anybody.
wrong with you?
What you say?
I said that was weird. Like, what would make you want to take a, like, and I miss you rubbing on my legs, and you know what I'm saying? What would
Yes,
make
the
you want to do
physical
that to a little
touch, the
girl?
attention, the who knows if he was giving her money or gifts or different things, because predators also use stuff like that to lure their victims in. Like, mm. And you mean to tell me not one person? So the extended family had an idea of what's going on, but the people that lived with her day in and day out had no idea? Like, miss me with that bullshit.
They knew.
Miss
They
me
knew
with that
what was going
bullshit.
on, mother, and they also tried to cover for him.
Yes,
They most definitely tried to cover for. I think I believe, and this is alleged. I believe that I believe that Sharon is covering up for Jarvis, and Annette is covering up for Sharon.
I agree. I agree. It's a domino effect. Because why else, if y'all knew that at clockwork, Naziah was supposed to show up between, let's say, 3:10, 3:20, getting off the bus, and should have been home locked down, like they say, because the grandmother ran a tight ship. But they claim they was out looking for her when she didn't show up. But also the neighbor said that's a discrepancy because nobody rang my doorbell and asked me about a missing girl, and I live right across the street type shit. You know, that screams covering up to give time to either get rid of her body, get their story together. It's just, it's way too much. It's way too much. What if? It's way too much.
Exactly.
And
That's what I'm
when it
saying.
doesn't make sense, that means somebody or multiple bodies are lying. Lying. Let me tell y'all something. One time, it was right when what's that movie? Was it Next Friday? I think it was when Next Friday came out. Let me tell y'all, I was bad as hell. I was acting like I was smoking weed on the bus stop. Do y'all not know the neighbors called up to the school and my parents were up at that school that very same day because they said that I was on the bus stop smoking something? Didn't know what it was, but they was
I'm
like,
going to the restroom, mother. Talk to them. I'll be
yeah,
right back.
it was like she out. We saw a student get on a District 22 bus. We see them all the time, and one of them lit something up. The school started questioning me. Next thing I know, my parents were up at the school asking me what I was doing. So, but I say all that to say somebody saw something, and you can't tell me, especially with the grandmother's not working. She's not gone before they're getting on the bus. Shannon's not working. They uploaded a video showing that they're just these caring, nurturing women that they make sure that they pray on their way out of the door. Whole time they cursing the children out over socks, mismatched socks, a coat with no zipper. Y'all can go look this up. The video has been put out there by multiple social media outlets, multiple people that are looking into this case, because that's how big this case is right now. It's a video out showing how Naziah's mornings were before school, getting cursed out, getting called negative things, and then being told to pray. Neighbors had more care and concern for these children than the people who were placed to protect and take care of these children. Which is sad. It's more than sad. And I just really hope that they can get justice for Naziah and the rest of the children in that family that are exposed to these demons.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sitting up here looking at my daughter. She look like she got a big trash bag on her head because she got these long locks that's coming down past her knees. Girl, I'm like, how are you even sleeping? She done came here and said she wanted to be under me and went to sleep. How are you even sleeping with this bag on your head?
You better leave her alone. Let her take care of that hair.
She got this long bag on her. You seen the big money bag? I'm talking about, yo. I'm like, you was on the floor, but she's on this floor, laying down, right here next to me. I'm sitting down. She done laid on the floor, baby. I don't got time for her.
She's in her safe space, okay?
She said, well, she can whoop somebody with that hair. Look, she came from out of her bed to get on the floor. Salute, Rose. Okay, y'all, because I'm getting sleepy. I've been here, what? Ooh, we did what? 6? We've been here doggone 38 hours.
Yeah,
So
we did a whole shift on this, for sure.
We did a whole shift. We're going to get to the judge, her closing remarks and everything. Then tomorrow when we come back, we're going to do the podcast. We're going to play some of the videos. We're going to dive, deeper and deeper. I guess until he open up his mouth. Until he open up his mouth. Now, Lalisa, I think you said it was over. Because this was just the pre-hearing, right? So the trial not even came.
Not yet.
So yeah, because I think Lalisa said it was over, but I'm thinking she was saying like it's over for him. I just got to make sure that's what he's saying.
It's definitely over for him because they have the cell phone data that ties him up. They have the text messages that shows he had an inappropriate relationship with Naziah, as well as a possible pregnancy. And I only say possible because they cannot prove it right now. Mm-hmm. They have the history of all of not only the allegations, but also convictions of him doing things.
Hello, slow down.
Well, okay.
So it's definitely a wrap.
Hey, baby.
Well, okay, yeah.
What's up, baby? So we know for a fact that he will be getting charged and most likely convicted for the predator, being a predator. We know that. Mm-hmm. But we want him convicted for the murder as well. We want, because we do know that she's not here anymore. That's something that we know.
Yes.
Without that body, that's the only thing I'm saying. Without that body, can it be a murder charge?
Yes, it can. In some states, yes, it can. And that is why the state is continuing to push this through. It was a case a couple years ago, Zion Foster, as a matter of fact, it was out of Detroit as well. Mm. She met up with a cousin from her father's side, and his dumb ass didn't know that Ring camera caught him going inside his house with his 17-year-old cousin, but she never.
Oh man, okay. What?
And yeah, we on content slap, so we ain't.
That's some wild shit though.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we on content, so we ain't
I
on.
just come to say hey to y'all. I ain't on that bullshit right now.
So yes,
Yeah.
there was a case only not even 2 years ago. Zion Foster, y'all can look her up. That case got popular as well, but not as popular as Nazia's right now. But it did have national coverage. Zion Foster, they never found a body. The cousin later on said that he dumped her body in a dumpster, and they started looking into the landfills in Michigan, which is also a
Blue Rose.
search, but they never found her. But he was still charged and found guilty with her murder. So absolutely, Jarvis Butts can still face those first-degree premeditated murder charges,
Okay.
even though they don't have Nazia's body.
Salute y'all. Y'all talking about a celebrity or something?
Absolutely.
No, we're talking about the 13-year-old girl Nazia Harris that was murdered and molested by her uncle. Well, not even
Oh,
her
he's
uncle.
not even her uncle. Her
It's her
her auntie's boyfriend.
auntie's boyfriend. Yeah.
Was it on the news, like
And
nationwide
he's
news?
also facing charges from 2 other sexual abuse charges of 2 other girls.
And he was a known predator. He was a known predator.
Yes.
He
Yes.
also been charged with a 4-year-old and giving the 4-year-old chlamydia.
Yes. A 4-year-old in STD. Like, how does a man or a woman, anybody, walk around and did that to a child?
What can
Talking
you
about walking around free.
huh?
You talking about when you say walk around? You
What you
talking about
say?
walking around? You talking about walking around free like he ain't got caught?
Well, he got caught and he served like 10 years, and then he's still out here doing it again. Like this little girl she's been missing for a year now.
And he
Yeah.
back out here doing the same thing again.
In January,
Yeah.
it was a year. January 9th made a year.
Made a year. She been missing.
Mm-hmm.
So what he just grabbing kids off the side of the road, or I'm saying like what
No,
how
No,
you
he's
know
grabbing children
no,
out of the own households that he's allowed to come
he's
into
come
allowed to.
to?
and shop
Oh,
like
all
he's
right.
in a
So
goddamn
he's
shop.
hunting for insecure women. You know, he has a type. They kind of heavy set, dark skin, ugly, and he's molesting the children that's in the house
Right.
and having full blown relationships with them, like text messages. Like we just went through a whole text thread of him talking sexually and her, they back and forth texting each other. So
The girl was texting back too?
yeah, because
Nah, see that's what I'm saying. Like now we gotta look at both. Now I understand he older now.
no, because he started doing this to this little girl when she was 11.
Earlier than that.
Earlier than that.
And
So
she never told nobody?
Yes, she told somebody.
she told somebody that it was like a pat on like a tap on the wrist for him. And as growing up, he was allowed around. So in a young girl mind, like this is okay for him to do. Like it's supposed to happen.
Right. I understand that part. But
Yeah.
it goes to the parents, you know, like I teach my kids. I got 7 kids. I teach my kids like when you've been, you know, when you teach your kids how to come back to talk to you about things like that, they wouldn't be afraid to come tell you.
She
But when
had
you're not,
nobody. Her
You
parents
look,
yeah.
that's when you
I
teach 'em.
understand. Yeah, I
But you're
understand
looking
what
at
you're
a
saying.
situation. You're looking at a situation that the little girl grandmother who had custody of her.
It's not a normal situation.
It's not a
Yeah,
normal.
right.
Like
Yeah,
the
I
grandmother
understand.
that had custody of her was molested at 11 and had a baby. Her mother was molested at 11 and had a child, and it triggered on down. And not only that, the guy that's doing it to them, he was molested at 13 and had his first child at 13 years old.
And also got with Shannon when she was 16.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was kind of I'm a man and I've been molested by women, so I was touched by women when I was young, But I didn't feel like it was. I didn't feel like it was bad. Me when I
That's
was
what
that
most
age.
women feel. That it
That's
is.
what that's what most like it's
Yeah,
for guys, it's like it's okay. Like they look at it like, oh boy, you got your
Yeah, that's
first piece
that
of
boosie
pussy.
shit.
You know
Some
what I'm
people
saying? But
don't
no,
have it
it's
past
still
that.
bad.
yeah.
It's
Cause
not
see,
amused. You
For
supposed to be
a grown
knocking
woman to
these women down. Hell no.
but my mama used to be like, I was like 14, 15 years though. But my mama used to be like throwing her friends on me, and they used to like me. So
Oh, your
you know what I'm
mother
saying?
was a trafficker.
Nah, not only that, it just she used to be, you know
Your
how your
mother is
mama play
trash.
with you. My mom used
Jay,
to play with me and
can
shit.
you get my
The
charger,
friends used
baby,
to,
please?
you know, the friends be won't be, you know.
Your mother is trash, and so are her
She
friends.
You
wasn't.
might be a
She
victim, brother.
wasn't. That was back in the days, man. You know, in the
It's
90s. How old
yesterday,
you is?
today,
How old you is
tomorrow.
though?
It's still trash.
But I'm saying, how old you were? How old you? Cause I'm 43. So you know, like back in the days, mama used to give us them little nicknames and shit. My
I think
mama used to
nigga
give,
55.
you know, it just was, you know, it was
All right,
like that.
KK, I gotta go because I can't hear nobody justifying some abuse towards a child. Y'all have a good one.
What's up, Nico, baby? Don't leave, mother. God damn.
damn.
Rough
Yeah,
her.
it's
She
no
funny as
just
hell.
at any age slap. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
It's not
yeah, I believe I'm going along with
it's
she's
not
saying, but I'm
okay. You know
saying
what I'm saying?
I'm
So
I'm I'm
it don't
saying
make it
though it
right
plays
because it's your mom. That's just like I ain't gonna even lie, and I love Boosie. When he used to say that he was gonna let Tootie Raw get head at 12 years, like I was not cool with it. That was to me it's weird. Just because he's a boy, you do not allow your child to, go like to experience it. You know what I'm saying? And I guess, y'all haven't been here to watch it, but to watch all this stuff, and I wish I had time to like let y'all go, but I'm finna close it out with this lady, this judge talking, and I'm finna close it out because we've been here 8 hours, and I know I gotta get me some sleep.
right.
Look,
But I'm
mother,
like I don't want her to take it wrong. Like I'm not going along with what she's saying. Like I goes along with it. It just
now
plays a big part of it plays a big part in the world right now. Like you got a lot of that going on, and you don't know how it started. You don't know how it ends. It goes on. It goes around.
yeah. So
Like
we
you
as the
know,
people, like what we saying is somebody got to break the chain. Somebody got to be like, okay, for a girl or a boy, this is
yeah.
not okay.
It's not
We got
right. It's
we
not
got to
right.
break the cycle, especially in us being black. We don't want our children in the justice system, or we don't want our children in the foster system. But it's happening due to these type of situations or worse. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So someone has to break the cycle. It's not okay because you're a boy. Your mom, your dad, or anybody can throw their friends or throw their little
Right.
girls. You like
No, that wasn't right. It wasn't right
that's
at
not
all.
cool. That's
You
not cool.
know, it's
So
not. It wasn't right at all.
you know what I'm
It
saying?
was.
Even playing like that, like look at my son. You want to miss my son? Like don't play like that because then it's gonna make it seem as if okay, she just throwing me off to her son. Like
Right.
no. And I done heard some like I done heard my cousin and was like I done if my partner's mom was like what? Like
Right.
what? Like
It,
now, and your partner mama let you F?
shit.
Like
They
it's out.
probably, it just like I say, bro. The world it's so fast right now. It's like the things what we went through back in the days. Like the kids is growing up so fast now. It's just fast now. It's like I couldn't go around grown people talking. Now kids, they're starting the conversation. Like so, it's just not the same like it used to be back in the days. I couldn't talk to a grown person like around grown. My mom and them first are talking. I have to go in the back room. Nah, kids right there.
Exactly. Like kids
Can you hear me,
what?
KK?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hold on, I'm finna
Uh,
play the video. Hold on, everybody go on mute.
I'm
In case, this is a quote, in this case, there was no physical evidence such as bloodstains or a weapon leading defendant to Joyce's death. In this case, we don't have the same facts or circumstances. I do agree, this is a circumstantial case, and circumstantial evidence is sufficient for a bind over and even conviction. Today is January 9th, 2025, exactly 1 year, from the day Naziah Harris disappeared. Before I get into the charges, and the main charge of premeditated first-degree murder, I have to speak on Naziah Harris and the community who failed her. And I am only presented with certain evidence. I don't know the whole story. The attorneys know more than me, the family knows more than me. But from what I have heard over the last 4 days and 5 days total, is that several people failed her.
Taxes was waiting and wondering.
I don't know where her mother is. I don't know anything other than that she was forced to live in a home where she was not protected or given adequate attention and love. I don't know where her father is. I don't have any mention of him in her life, no presence. To Cordell, AKA King, and all the men who saw Jarvis Butts hanging out and always around these young girls, including Naziah, and his 9-year-old daughter going up to the shop to clean up the shop. The school counselor who never showed up, or the person who was supposed to show up if that counselor was absent, after Naziah was on the floor on the day she went missing, saying that she needed to speak to someone and speak to a counselor. There's no mention of CPS, but I wonder what their involvement was over the years, because this was not just a 1-year thing. There are text messages at least from 2022. To her adoptive grandmother, Annette Harris, whose testimony, in my opinion, was very questionable. I understand why the people put her on the stand to establish Naziah's residence and the houses on Bedford and the regular routine, to establish also that Naziah was not a runaway child, that she was not a bad kid. I do believe she adopted Naziah. I do believe that she had 6 kids in the house. I believe that Naziah had on a dark hoodie the day she went missing, and that she had on red and black Nikes that day. What is hard to believe is that the defendant never came into the house as she testified. And there was also a minor that testified that he did as well. Text messages that show between him and Naziah that he did in the basement, saying he was going to the shower, stealing her panties. He was always lurking around that house and asking for Janiyah and Zaniyah, from what I know. I even thought about the breakfast routine and saying that all the kids like eating breakfast at school. Did they have a choice? I don't know. But to always send those girls up there to clean up the shop raises questions. And how were there 2 women in that house who have birthed children themselves who did not notice that Naziah was pregnant, and I believe she was, and not having her period anymore? But then after hearing text messages today, begging Jarvis for pads as if she didn't have anyone else to give them for her. And what stood out the most was when Annette Harris stood on the stand, and she learned around 6 p.m. that Naziah did not come home from school, and said she looked around for her and decided to wait until the next morning to call the police. Without a tear, without emotion, or any expression of being devastated. And to her Aunt Shannon, who also showed no emotion, expression of being devastated from Naziah going missing. She stated that she had friends help look for Naziah, but was directed to just wait until the morning to call the police. A grown woman who likely suspected something strange going on didn't feel the need to call the police either. They were both able to go to sleep at night without hearing from Naziah or having any indication that she was coming home that night. And of course, the defendant, who I will get to in a minute. I don't know who else failed Naziah, but the community did. As far as the people establishing probable cause, I will focus on count 1, as it's been stated that there is no contention with counts 2 and 3. In count 3, I will amend based off of the motion and the testimony I heard that Naziah was 12 and not 13 at the time that Jarvis Butts had sexual intercourse with her. The prosecution is correct. You do not have to have a body to establish first-degree premeditated murder. It would have been a much shorter exam had her body been found, but this is where we are. In the last 365 days, no text messages. We all heard today and yesterday that she was very active and frequently texted. No social media for a year. We heard through testimony that she was also active on social media. No phone calls, which she was also able to do according to testimony. No physical sighting of her by anyone. She never came back to school. No one has seen her. Medical records dated from July 2014 to October 2023 indicated that she had no life-threatening medical issues that would lead to a natural cause of death. The black hoodie found in the area of 7 Mountain with her DNA and blood on it. The holes in the hoodie consistent with some sort of struggle, violence, or weapon being used. And we know that there were no holes in that hoodie when she wore it to school. We saw a picture of her in a black hoodie on her last day that everyone saw her. I do believe her grandma testified truthfully about the sweatshirt that she had on and that was practically new. And the border agent who said that no evidence of animals would have destroyed the clothing or the shoes to possibly lead to animals tearing up that hoodie. The clear glasses found in the blue Nissan the day after she went missing. The behavior of the defendant when he snatched those glasses. They looked exactly like the glasses she had on in her last picture, according to the witness. The shoes that her brother described as the same shoes that were found also in the area of Muhlenberg, near the hoodie. While this is still probable cause, the evidence all points to Jarvis Butts. His locations, him being seen with her last, the abortion searches, the abrupt silence between the two of them in text messages, and the constant lies he told throughout the entire investigation. And they were proven to be lies with text messages and other testimony.
How do you take 20,000 children in the middle of New York City without anybody seeing?
We may never know what happened, but from what I heard today and over the last 4 or 5 days, it appears he intended to perform what he thought was a do-it-yourself abortion on Naziah. It went south, and instead of seeking medical attention for her, he intentionally killed her and tried his best to cover it up. As much as I want her to be alive today, there is at least probable cause to show and believe that she's dead and that she was murdered by Jarvis Butts. Mr. Butts, stand up. You've been sitting over there for 4 days with your head down, sitting between and behind your attorney with your mask on and taking vigorous notes. I want you to pay attention and listen to everything I have to say. I have been trying to figure out for the last 5 days, you. At one point, I thought you were cognitively impaired in the beginning of this exam. And then maybe you had the brain of a 10-year-old, and that's why you were doing such things. But as I heard more and more testimony, you're just the true definition of a pedophile. Watching you laugh and brag about all the women you have with different women and the children and the girlfriends, and making babies to groom them and having them in your presence, cleaning up your shop, and the little girls around you, has landed you here today. You groomed Naziah. You played mind games with her. We all heard that. You controlled her emotionally. She was exposed to so much at such a young age. The text messages between you two were disgusting to hear. And to think that she had you saved in her phone as babe for life. Naziah deserved so much more. And while I mentioned other people that failed her, Jarvis Butts, you are the monster in this whole picture. She did deserve love from her parents and everyone who was in her life. She was ignored, she was neglected, and you took complete advantage of that. She wanted someone to love her, and she will never know what that feels like. Your children deserve more. As much as the defense counsel has raised issues on count one, all that has done is raise the question of fact for the trier of fact, which means that this would be for a jury or a judge to hear in Third Circuit. I pray for the healing of all the victims and the young girls and possibly boys who have come into contact with you. As a community, we should look at this case as a prime example of how much work we have to do when it comes to protecting our children and especially our Black girls. I pray for closure and healing for all those who have been traumatized by you. And for you, Jarvis Butts, I wish you a speedy trial and that justice be delivered. Your bind over date is January 16th at 9:00 a.m.
I just wanted to show you the US.
You talking KK or you just stopped?
Okay, that was it. That was it.
So everything
Nah,
we've been
yeah.
saying. Can you hear me? Or am I lagging?
Shout out to Mother Twerks for the super chat. Thank you, Mother. Justice for Nazaya. Shout out to Mother Twerks. Thank you for the super chat, baby. I truly appreciate all the support. I salute everybody that came here that was here with me today, especially
Can you hear
Mother
me,
and my
KK?
sister. Yeah, I can hear you, girl. Salute
Oh,
to
okay.
everybody.
Go ahead.
Now, that was the end. That judge basically said everything that we were saying.
Everything we said, yep.
He was a monster.
That she should be, he more than him should be charged at this moment because they failed her. And she don't believe him.
She don't believe them. Just like, shout out to Slap Game for the super chat. Thank you, baby. Like, at the end of the day, like, he failed them. The system failed them, her. The family failed them. That lady just sat there and said, with no emotion. The grandmother with no emotion. So we're not the only one observing this. So I'm guessing that was for them to make sure, okay, we can take this on a trial. It's probable cause to send this right on over and we finna have a trial.
Yeah. Just like she said, no activity on her social media, and her not sending a text after that day, her having to ask for pass, like just her having to go clean, the girls having to go clean up here with this known predator. Oh yeah, all that. And I wouldn't be surprised if now that prosecution will bring charges up on the other two, because yeah, y'all neglected her.
So if they don't get charged with anything else, if nothing comes out,
Life gonna whoop them.
One of them. Do you understand me? So I am tired. I'm sleepy. Get up, Sue. Go in your room. I'm about to get off of here, y'all. I wish I could stay up, but I can't. I know I can't. We're gonna come back tomorrow. And we're gonna dive into that podcast that Mother sent me. And it's,
oh yeah, I'll tell you on the back end.
Everybody, you got people just coming up that stayed in Detroit, Michigan, around this, letting you know, like, this is what's going on. This is what they should do. So we getting into all that. What you say, sis?
No, I said I'll call you after this. I know you ending the show, so I'm gonna drop down. Salute, baby, and you know what I'm saying? Good work, man. Just keep it going. You hear me? Love you.
I I am. I love
Salute
you.
to everybody who came. Salute to everybody who supported y'all. Make sure y'all continue to hit that like button. Get your memberships. Send super cash apps. All of it is highly appreciated. And man, salute to you, sister. I'm in the chat. I'll call you after this over with.
Okay.
All right.
Salute everybody. Everybody. I'm gonna try to get me a new intro, you guys, for my content only. I'm not gonna even play the intro at the end. I'll just play a little song. I don't even know what song I could play. Because it's all kind of like ghetto, but at the time, can y'all please drop pink and purple hearts for Naziah? And I say pink and purple because it was a domestic, it was a violent, and also they were saying that pink was her favorite color. Just drop down Justice for Naziah with the pink hearts as we end the show. Salute to everybody that's coming in. I love doing this content. We will be back probably 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, like middle later on tonight. If not, early morning tomorrow. So salute to everybody that came in. Even when we leave, if you didn't hit the like button, please do so. Please share the live and get all this information out. We're going to keep pushing, at least try to get some pressure onto the family and the sicko Jarvis. I believe all of them are sickos. So we can at least get her body. I would love that. If we get her body, I would love that. I would like to know, was she really pregnant and everything? And I believe so. But it's alleged until we find out the truth. So salute everybody. I love you guys. Thank y'all for supporting me in every single way. And hopefully all y'all will be back tomorrow. While the music is playing, please drop the purple hearts, pink and purple hearts for Naziah. And let's just have a moment of silence, at least for 10 seconds. I'm going to start playing the music, and y'all continue to drop them purple hearts.